Good afternoon, and thanks for having us in. New this midday, documents detailing the investigation into T. Denny Sanford will be made public. That's the ruling from the South Dakota Supreme Court. The justices agreed with a circuit court ruling to unseal search warrant affidavits now that the investigation is complete. The highest court heard oral arguments on the case 2 weeks ago in Brookings. We should receive the documents later this month. We posted today's ruling for you on KELLERLAND.com. Also new this midday, a former Sioux Falls police officer has pleaded guilty to 2 counts of child porn possession and distribution. 24-year-old Matthew Jock was indicted last year after South Dakota authorities were alerted to a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Court documents say Jock looked at sexual videos involving children and shared them on Kick Messenger. The Lincoln County State's Attorney's Office is asking that Jock be sentenced to 15 years in prison with 5 suspended. Sentencing is expected to take place in September. Also new this midday, investigators are searching for information on a Sioux Falls assault that left a man with life-threatening injuries. Last night, authorities found the 49-year-old victim in the central part of the city. He was unconscious but breathing. He appears to have suffered a serious brain injury.
We really don't know what happened at this point, where the detectives are still tracking down people, doing interviews, trying to figure out maybe what led up to that, what happened with the assault. But at this point, we know that the man was assaulted, has got the life-threatening injuries. Outside of that, we're still trying to figure out what took place.
Police checked in on the victim this morning, and his condition has not improved. If you have any information that could help with the investigation, contact police or Crime Stoppers. South Dakota DOT posted these photos this morning, along with the announcement that Interstate 29 has reopened, though you should expect to encounter ice and snow-covered roads. No travel advisories are still in place in the northeastern corner of the state. And a reminder from the South Dakota Highway Patrol to completely clean off your cars before driving. It's not safe for you or others on the road. Turning now to a first look at your midday forecast with meteorologist Scott Munt. A nice start to the warm-up here today, Scott, but also some snow in north central South Dakota.
Yeah, that's something we're watching. North central Kettleland, a burst of snow moving through. I know Futurecast was thinking we'd see some flurries during the late morning hours, maybe even extend into the afternoon right along the border of North Dakota and South Dakota. And we see more than just flurries, a couple of snow showers pushing through. Otherwise, we have sunshine, I would say, for at least the southern half of the area, if not maybe even more. But here is a closer look as you do see them across north central South Dakota, just to the west and northwest of Aberdeen. These are quickly moving to the east. Looks like any additional snowfall amounts will stay light, but that's the way it looks. This is our Eureka live cam showing a temperature of 20 degrees with that burst of snow moving through. Over the next 12 hours on Futurecast, it really doesn't pick that up, but it is out there, and it will quickly move to the east. We're at 16 in Aberdeen, 34 in Huron, 40 in Mitchell, 42 already in Sioux Falls, 29 Phillip, 34 degrees in Rapid City. We have 44 in Yankton, and our winds are light. Many locations coming in around 5, maybe 10 miles per hour. And they'll remain light as we do go through the day today. Well, here's that forecast with a little bit thicker cloud cover, north central, northeastern South Dakota. I would say during the early afternoon, better sunshine expected later this afternoon. We'll still try to get high temperatures near 30. 32 today in Mobridge, 30 in Aberdeen and Sisseton, shooting for 50 in Sioux Falls, 44 in Mitchell, 55 in Yankton, and 44 in Rapid City. Tonight, another cold night. Aberdeen will fall to 7, 15 in Mobridge, 23 in Sioux Falls, 10 in Pierre, and 17 in Rapid City. I would not be surprised if we start the day tomorrow with areas of fog, central, northern South Dakota. That will slowly go away, bring back the sunshine, try to warm it to the middle 30s in north central and northeastern Kettleland, and we're going with a high of 60 in Sioux Falls, 65 in Yankton, 46 in Rapid City. Megan will be in with a complete look at your Kettleland Live Doppler forecast, including those 7-day forecasts coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Ownership has changed, and the name is changing too, but the donuts at this Centerville bakery are staying the same, and that includes the Zebra Donut. New owner Brian Hilley describes the treat.
They're a chocolate and vanilla kind of dough donut. They're glazed, and they have a chocolate glaze on it. That another thing that Keith came up with himself.
You'll almost be able to smell the donuts in tonight's Eye on KELOLAND as we explore this bakery's legacy and future in small town South Dakota. Another wave of deadly tornadoes left a path of destruction across the Midwest Wednesday. At least 5 people were killed and dozens injured when a large twister tore through a rural community in southeastern Missouri. This deadly storm came just a few days after several twisters upended communities across the Midwest, killing at least 33 people. At least 11 tornadoes were reported since Tuesday across Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois. Idaho Governor Brad Little has signed a bill into law that makes it illegal for an adult to help a minor get an abortion without parental consent. The law is the first of its kind in the U.S. and creates a new crime of abortion trafficking, barring adults from obtaining abortion pills for a minor or recruiting, harboring, or transporting the pregnant minor without the consent of the minor's parent or guardian. Anyone convicted of breaking the law will face 2 to 5 years in prison and could also be sued by the minor's parent or guardian. Opponents have promised to challenge the law in court. Former Vice President Mike Pence has changed his mind and will no longer fight a subpoena to testify about what happened on January 6th and the days leading up to the insurrection. Nicole D'Antonio has more details from Capitol Hill.
Former Vice President Mike Pence has decided he will testify about the events surrounding January 6th.
I obviously have nothing to hide.
On a legal scale, this is an earthquake and not a small earthquake.
Special counsel Jack Smith is investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol and former President Donald Trump's attempts to overturn the election.
There may not be a more critical witness for the special counsel and potentially against former President Trump than the vice president himself.
Pence's decision to testify comes after a judge ruled several of Trump's former top aides must testify, including former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows.
I think the American people deserve the whole story.
Special counsel Smith's federal investigations extend well beyond the attack on the U.S. Capitol. He's also tasked with getting to the bottom of former President Trump's handling of classified material.
The boxes hoax, the boxes hoax.
Sources tell CBS News that many staffers at Mar-a-Lago and Trump aides have testified about whether Trump obstructed the government's efforts to secure the documents. Trump insists he did nothing wrong.
We were negotiating in very good faith, proper way, in order to return some or all of the documents that I openly and in very plain sight brought with me to Mar-a-Lago from our beautiful White House.
Trump was indicted in New York Tuesday on state charges of allegedly falsifying business records. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Trump denies he committed a crime in New York, and his lawyers say they will move to have those charges dismissed.